Mom, tell us about your first date again.
Well, it was after the prom, and we went up Logan Canyon to go. We went there before we went to the dance, and we went up Logan Canyon, and as we were coming back down, he turned the motor off. And I'm going, why do you turn the motor? Well, that saves gas. And I said, oh. And so when I got home and told my dad about it, he said, I don't think you'll be going with him again. I said, you don't even have to tell me. I'm not going with a cheapskate.
And so Dad fit the bill as one who was not a cheapskate, right? So
exactly. My motto with my dad was, you put it in, I take it out.
Oh,
that was our motto.
Bank account.
And that worked really well for me.
So I was curious, how did you meet Dad? What was it about Dad that made you?
I met your dad at a dance. We were both going to be teachers, and we had to go through this rhythms and dance class. And he did not like the rhythms part, and he said, if you'll help me with that, I'll take care of the dancing. And so that's what we did, and that's where I met him. And after we had done that, he said, I owe you something. Let's go out somewhere and get some ice cream. And that started it.
Wow.
I hadn't heard that before.
Now I had heard that you played leapfrog.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we were doing
Some
in
of the
this gym
games.
thing, in this rhythm thing. It was play leapfrog, and it was not what he wanted to do, and neither did I. And so that's how we first got together.
Okay.
Yep.
What made you want to go back with him again?
Because he was very nice. He really was.
Tell him the pressure that you were under to marry him, his ultimatum.
Oh.
I heard this.
Well, I played the piano, and I had a friend who got married up in Boise, and she insisted that I come and play the prelude for the Here Comes the Bride thing. So I had gone up to do that, and he was furious because he had tickets to go to Salt Lake to the
See a
dances.
big band or something?
And a big band. I think it was Harry James.
Okay.
And he had tickets for that, and he was not happy. And so when I got home, he said, you ever do that again, we won't be together. Okay, I won't do that again.
Okay. I hadn't heard that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then didn't he say, you either marry me or else, too?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What was that
It's time
story?
to get married, and I'm not fiddling around any longer. It's now or never.
Good for you.
How long did that take?
Not
I mean,
very
how long between that and when you met him?
Oh, it had been a year, almost a year. Mm-hmm. So we'd met at BYWoo.
What were some of the things that you did on your dates?
We went to movies, we danced, we went to lots of dances, and we went to movies. And he had friends that we would go out to dinner with and things like that. So it made for...
So he lived at home in Alpine,
Yep.
and then you were
lived
on campus?
Uh-huh. And I was over at BYU. I took him home and introduced him to my folks, and he said, that's just good. I already had a diamond on my hand, so it had to be good.
Oh.
And it was good. They liked him.
What did you grow to love about Dad the most in your 50-plus years of marriage?
Kindness.
Kindness.
Forgiveness. He did not hold grudges. And I just thought that was wonderful, that you could get along with people, and maybe you didn't like what they liked and what they did, but you didn't need to argue about it. And he was very even-tempered, except when he said, we'll do this. We'll get married.
Except when I got out of line.
Yeah. We saw that.
Did all of us end up to be even-keeled?
No.
Everybody's different. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
that. It just it is. You're all good kids, and I love you all.
One of the things that you said about Dad to me, or one time that impressed me, was after he passed away and we were talking about him, you said something about him, and it was that still waters run deep. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you say that?
It meant that you feel things, and that is how you feel, no matter what someone else feels. And that's what you show your kindness and your love by how you feel. And that was him. He was a very gentle man.
I only remember one argument, and I remember that I was in bed in my purple room, and Mom threw an egg at Dad across the kitchen.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, I never saw that.
I remember a plate.
He wouldn't stop talking, and I had to get his attention.
That's a good one.
So, yeah.
For me, growing up with Dad, he didn't talk to me much. Not that that was okay. It just that, like you said, still waters run deep. But I knew when he talked, I needed to listen to it, and I felt that way all throughout the rest of my life with Dad. I always felt I remember that. It was like he doesn't talk a lot about a lot of things, but when he talked or spoke, I needed to listen to it.
He was always very kind, very thoughtful.
Yep.
Sometimes you'd get angry with us, and that was the way it
Not
went.
too
Not very
much.
often. So how did the egg throwing incident turn
I
out?
don't even remember what it was about. We just were in bed and we were traumatized.
Oh, I must have been too small. I don't remember
Because
that.
they never fought. And I just
He wouldn't stop talking, so I got his attention. So that was a good one. He was a good man, very kind, very gentle. I remember one time when he was the bishop, and this lady came to our front door, and she said, "I can't go home." And he said, "Well, you have to." She thought she could stay here. And he said, "No, I'm sorry, that isn't going to happen. I'll take you home and we'll talk this over with your mom and dad." And he did, and it all worked out.
Yeah, I
That
remember
was the kind of things he did. And he had a couple instances of those kind of things. He never said anything about them, and he never talked about it after it was over.
You know, we ought to flip the question though. What did he admire about you? What do you think? What would he say about my Dorene?
I haven't a clue.
Really?
Maybe it was because, let's see, I had a Crown Victoria car. And his was not as fancy as mine.
Wow. Well,
No. He was a darn good husband. He loved me for some reason. I don't know why, but he did. And we got along most of the time pretty good. Very few arguments went here. Because he would back off. I would keep yapping. But he didn't.
I remember him telling you every day how grateful he was for the food that you cooked for him and the things that you did for him. Always complimentary to
Always.
you.
After every meal,
appreciated
he'd
you.
say
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. He
Thanks,
would.
Doreen.
He was very good about
And he told
that.
you how pretty you were. I remember him telling you he'd compliment you on your clothes or your hair. Or,
Yeah.
I remember you bringing him a dish of ice cream every night while he laid on the couch and watched Gunsmoke.
Exactly. That was it. And now I've increased that to my habit.
Oh, you just eat his ice cream now.
Now I have ice cream every night.
I do remember him complimenting you a lot, not only to your face, but outside of your presence. There were times when I'd go with him alone places, and you would have, like when you go to the dunes or whatever, you would have fixed a bunch of stuff for him to eat, and he would say, "We're eating like kings," and that's all because of Doreen. I love her. He'd say that, and that was to me a high compliment because you weren't there, and he was saying it to other people. He loved you.
Yeah, you did. And we had a good marriage most of the time. There weren't a lot of arguments, but it's typical.
How long were you married? How many years? I forgot.
Let's see,
55 to 208.
to 208.
So what's that?
Almost 53.
we did have a 50th wedding party. I remember that.
We did. We went up to the Prairie Schooner and had a party, and that was fun. And everyone was there, and that was good.
What do you miss about him most now that you've been alone for a few years?
It's just there's nobody to talk to, and there's nobody to boss around. You know, it's quiet here.
I remember that we would typically every summer we had a summer vacation, and then it continued with you guys traveling quite a bit. Tell us some of those memories of maybe the family trips, and then maybe some where you were with his brothers, or, you know, kind of those things. I mean, loading us up in the back of the station wagon, and off we went. And all we would do is ask, when do we get to the hotel so we can swim in the pool?
Yeah, they didn't care about anything but getting to the pool. And it was funny, the time that we took my mother with us, and you guys probably weren't there. And we went down to southern Utah somewhere.
Oh, I was there.
And you were there.
We Dad and Steve, was it you two that had to sleep outside on the ground?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Yuba City, Arizona, and
We couldn't find a
couldn't find a
motel.
hotel room.
Yeah.
We were all with that, yeah.
We
Look in your
couldn't get
face.
one. Remember?
Yeah.
And
Mom had something to say after that one. I
Grandma
remember
was
that.
with us.
Yeah.
Was she? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandma
We
Myrtle was
we girls
there.
slept in the station wagon, and you guys slept on the ground. And then all of a sudden the doors open. We're leaving here.
Weren't there dogs that
Yes,
were running
the
around
dogs had
licking?
been licking their faces.
Where were we going? Do you remember? Was the
went
Grand
Mesa
Canyon?
Verde or
Four
something.
Corners, Mesa
Mesa
Verde.
Verde.
We couldn't find a hotel, so Dad was tired. We just decided to sleep in the car.
We did some Yellowstone trips with the bears actually
Yes,
coming
we
up
did.
to the car.
And licked the window. Yes, we did, and he barely got it up.
Remember the time the grizzly came to the window and Dad had to hurry and roll it up? It was going to bite him.
Yeah, we did that.
I remember water skiing with the Tubbses with my dad with his little tiny bathing suit. He was a good water
Yeah, he
skier.
was.
Do you remember
And
that?
he had the life jacket thing that went around his waist. Yeah. He was really hitting it.
I think it was the Tubbses or somebody
Yeah,
took us
Pine
up
View.
there, Pine View.
Yeah. Well, you and Dad were good to us. Yeah.
Well,
I remember going to Missoula, Montana a couple of times.
Grandma Schlappy's bottled trout.
yeah.
Or canned.
44 Rollins Street. Yeah.
We went to the World's Fair up in Seattle.
In
I
Seattle.
remember
Saw you
that.
dance
Yeah.
there and
Oh,
stuff.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
We went to Canada, and
Went to
Steve
Canada.
plugged the toilet.
Thank
Yeah, you flushed the toilet in the middle of the night.
We had lots of good trips.
Did we go to Disneyland or anywhere in California? I think so.
Yeah, we went to
I think we
Disneyland.
went to
We went to
Disney. I think we
Disneyland,
did
I
to
believe.
Disneyland.
One time we went to Vegas and Dad didn't get a hotel room. Do you remember this? And we
Yeah.
couldn't find one anywhere, and Mom was mad at him because he never made any plans.
Kind of like me.
Just do it and go.
the way.
I agree. That was a wonderful trip to Hawaii. Our parents took us and our significant others to Hawaii, and we
That
had a
was fun.
wonderful time there. Yeah.
We did.
I hadn't been married very long. I remember that.
Yeah. 10 of us went to Hawaii.
Super fun.
And Dad got his
Oh, sunburn.
terrible sunburn. I remember he was
Yeah.
miserable. He'd been sitting on the beach. Do you remember that?
You?
The thing about that trip that I remember the most was at Pearl Harbor when he started telling us about his experiences
yeah.
in the Navy.
The troop ship.
Yeah.
Great story. It
We
got
all-
better every time
we
he
all know
told
that
it.
story.
But this is a video about Mom's life, so tell us
Right.
about your job history.
Well, let's see. When I got my teacher certificate, then I got a job in Sunset.
That was your first job? You didn't work when you were a teenager or anything?
Didn't you work in Salt Lake originally, though?
Yeah,
right
you-
when you
you
first
taught in
married?
Salt Lake
you
first.
Taught some time in Salt Lake City.
Oh, that's right. Just with this lady was going to have leave, and I did take the end of her year. That's right. I did too. That was my first. And then I went to Sunset. Worked with that other kindergarten teacher for 20 years in Sunset Kindergarten. And she passed away about a month and a half after she retired.
That was Lois
Lois
Corgett.
Corgett.
And when did you retire? Weren't you like,
I taught for over 25 years.
you were 65 or
65,
more?
Pretty darn near, yeah.
What made you choose to be a teacher? How come you ended up in that field?
It was so fun. I was going to be a nurse, and I went for the checkup for a nurse, and I had a heart murmur, which I still have. And they said, that's not a good deal. You don't want to do that. And I thought, well, if I can't do that, I want to be a teacher because I want to be with kids. And so I started and got my education in childhood education and went to Sunset and started teaching school.
And it's quite a legacy because now how many granddaughters do you have that teach
A
school?
whole bunch.
A whole bunch.
Yeah,
Daughters.
3 or 4.
And a daughter.
And a daughter, yeah, that's right.
I loved it. It was a
daughter.
great career.
Got some teachers in our group.
You and Dad were.
And he
Both
was
well
a good
thought of.
teacher. He was a good teacher.
And he taught at my elementary school until I was going to be in his class, and then he bailed out. He moved to a different school.
That's a good move.
Good move. Both of you were probably glad that happened.
You stopped teaching while we were young, and then you
I went
then you
back.
went back when
You were all
we were all
back in school.
I was like
in junior high or
kindergarten.
something.
Yeah.
I think you were like in 4th grade,
Yeah,
3rd or 4th
grade.
grade.
But you forgot about another legacy that you have of teaching piano because you
great.
taught
That's a
so
great one.
many. How many kids do you think learned to play the piano because of you?
That's a great
Oh, I
question.
had at one time I had about 20 at a time. And you kids would come in and Lori would
yes,
take
we
care
got
of
used
you.
to that pounding every night after
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
And Mom's singing the note that they're supposed to be playing.
Yep.
And if they had it wrong, she'd keep holding her note. Get the note right.
Get up there.
I memorized all of those songs.
Oh, I know, Mom.
And then you were going to come and play, and so you know Peter Pumpkin.
That's about all I could do.
Yeah,
Why did you do that? Why were you a piano teacher?
Mom told me the story the other day of how you got the desire to play the piano. Do you remember you telling me that? You
Yeah.
heard the lady at church.
I had the lady at church, and then I thought, gee, that would be nice. And by then I had taken a few lessons, and I wasn't very good, and thought, hey, if you're going to play in church, you got to get better.
And tell them how you got better.
I went to another teacher, and I practiced day and night trying to learn to play
In
the
your
piano.
junior or your senior year of high school
school.
and college, how many hours a day did you practice?
7 or 8.
7 or 8
Wow.
hours a day.
I did
I
not.
would-
Didn't you have the goal? Didn't you have a desire to be a concert pianist? Or
No.
You just
no,
wanted to
I
be
just
really good
wanted
at
to be
it.
good.
Well, you told me this story of how Grandma and Grandpa bought you an old upright, and they said, Dorene, if you really are serious about this, you can start. And then you continued to get better and better until he said, okay, I'm going to buy you this piano.
And it sittings in the front room.
Then he bought you an organ.
Yep.
Yep.
So
What
the-
drove you to want to be good? What made you want to feel that way?
I had this friend, it was the lady that she played in church, and I got good enough that I could play. She played the organ, and I played the piano.
And how
Yes.
old were you when you were doing that?
11.
Wow, you just wanted to do well.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a Miss Roy pageant, and the winner, Miss Roy, played the piano when she was Mom's student.
Really? Wow.
Oh, there's a lot of people around here that play because of Mom.
And all of us really
terrible.
did a good
I
job
never
of
learned.
learning the piano from our
He's
mother.
like, I'm burned out.
Enough of- I've heard enough of that, huh?
Could've, you know,
I've heard enough of
made
this.
you proud,
Clink,
but
clink. I was glad that I was able to help, and some of them, Lori Beeler has taught many.
Right, she's
It goes
taught
on
too.
and on, so it's good.
Tell us about your volunteer jobs.
I love to volunteer. Went into Steve was at
Ogden Regional.
Ogden Regional, and so I went in and started to volunteer there, and I was there for maybe 18 years, toting around people. I didn't have to do anything with the blood and that kind of stuff. I just showed people where they were going and where they needed to be, because I'd been there long enough that I pretty well knew my way around.
And in the temple.
where's the other one?
And then the other one was in the temple. And I worked for 20 years as a volunteer in the temple, and I loved it, every minute of it. I was a supervisor for a while, and that was good. And had a few brides that I got to go with and see that they were taken care of. And I remember one mother saying to her daughter after she had her garments and everything on, "You can take those off when you get out." I'm going,
Mom was a little.
"Oh,
Very
no,
upset.
you can't."
There's a little activity of extraction you do. Why don't you tell us about
I'm
that?
still
Great
at
question.
it. I'm still at it. And I've done thousands and thousands and thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of
Aren't you
thousands.
about to like 500,000
Mm-hmm.
names?
So every quarter we get a little notification from Family Search about who's done the most work on our family lines, and every quarter it's Mom.
Well, I'm trying to ride those coattails right to heaven. I'm her
That's what
son.
we're gonna do.
I've saved a bunch of them so that we have them, but every
neat.
quarter it's Dorene Bateman has done the most on both my dad's side and my mom's side.
Yeah, but you do the work.
But I think Mom's closer to 1 million
I've done a lot.
extractions.
My Lord, really?
But Lori,
Oh, yeah.
Lori goes every week, all the time.
I go do the work, but you have to find
Find
them
'em,
first, right?
yeah.
And Mom does all of that.
You
so.
think it's closer to 1 million?
1 million?
Oh,
She's
remarkable.
yeah,
There's quite a few.
That's
700,000 or
terrific.
800,000.
How do you get the, well, I'll talk about it later, but that's wonderful.
Yeah,
See, and
yeah,
gotta
I'm
make you
still
feel
doing
good.
it. That's the one thing that I pass my time with.
She also puts memories out there, and those count toward all of the work that she does. She puts pictures of all of our family. She's put all their histories out there on Family Search, and plus all the extractions
wonderful.
she's done.
Got some photo albums that have been made for everybody.
she's made one for all of us, each member of the family. They're just wonderful keepsakes.
Tell us about your church jobs.
Yeah, great.
You've had a lot
Well-
of church jobs, I know.
I've been the Relief Society president, board president, and I've also been the state Relief Society president. And I've taught in Sunday school, and my favorite place is in the primary with the little kids. And so that's.
And 2 years ago, you had what were you in the primary? You were a counselor in the
Called you to be
primary.
a counselor
Yeah,
when
I
you
was
were
a-
90.
Yeah, I was a counselor. It didn't last very
It
long.
was a little stressful, but you did it.
I did
And
it.
you accepted the call, which is, that
Yeah.
was all that
Oh,
showed
and I
your
just
willingness.
remember the only reason she quit was because the little kids loved her so much that they were going to knock her over.
Well, that
They were gonna
and
knock
my
her over.
that
Really?
and my
They'd come up
pray
and hug her.
and my cane.
That's wonderful.
Wanted my
They're-
cane.
they
I
still-
thought this
they-
isn't safe for them and me. So,
But they still come and sit next
oh
to you.
yeah,
in-
I've got this
in the
little one
meetings.
that's redhead with curls, tight as can be, and she comes over every Sunday, and I get a big hug. And she's a neighbor's kid, but she's darling.
Well, I have another question though. I've been really intrigued by the whole Bear River scene, your high school. If you could tell us a little bit about some of the things that happened in your high school and how dramatically different that was. And then the amazing phenomenon it has been that you've maintained friendships with your childhood classmates your entire life. Can you kind of just tell us a little bit about the high school experience and then how you why maybe
I don't know. There was just a group of us that really connected with each other in certain classes. That's number one. And then you started to, I like what she does, and she likes what I do, and then we became very good friends. And we got so that we had a pie dump. We called it the pie dump. It was a restaurant or an ice cream place that was only across the street from the high school. And so that's where we always met, at the pie dump, and go have ice cream and make friends and go from there and back to the classes went in between. And so we had this little clique, a group of friends, and so we did a lot of things together. And then some of them would have a boyfriend and they'd go off with them, and others of us didn't. And so I still have 3 that I meet. We try to meet or we talk on the phone. And one lives here in South Ogden, and Betty lives in Layton. And she's hard to get she likes to golf, and she's 90. And so it's hard to catch her home. But Shirley and I, we always talk about once a month, and I write it on my calendar to remind me to call Shirley. She had sadness in her life about about 6 months ago. Her son died of a heart attack, and he is Jody's age, wasn't he? Or Steve's?
My age.
Steve's age. And so that was sad for her.
It's wonderful that you keep those
Yeah.
friendships for so long.
Up at the cemetery today, I tried to find if he was buried up there, but I couldn't find him. No, he wasn't by Dallas, so I don't know where she.
I want to get on tape your high school gymnasium experience.
No. No.
Your great grandkids will love it.
What is it? I've never heard it.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
my
you
goodness.
gotta hear it, Ben.
Come
You
on,
gotta
Mom.
tell
Swim
us.
class, here we go.
Oh, here we
You
go.
brat. We had swim class, and we didn't have our own suits. They were always brought in
Oh, my goodness.
by the class. Well, they didn't get there for us, so they said, just go.
Oh, boy.
So here's all these naked girls in the pool.
With your swim caps on, right?
With our symptoms. We had caps on to keep our hair from getting messy.
I thought you told us that the boys were boring holes through the doors.
We were almost sure that there were holes drawn in the wall.
Hopefully,
You don't have a suit,
Yeah,
but class
no
is
suits.
not canceled.
No,
Get in there.
class was not canceled.
Put your cap on.
didn't you say that the girls would just go right to the edge and roll their towel and just jump in?
We did. We just, the faster you could get
That
in the
would
water.
not happen today.
Oh, heavens, no.
That's a great
Now
one.
I thought you said it. They did it for hygienic purposes because they didn't want to have to wash and dry all the.
Well, that
The
was one of them, but
swimsuits.
the suits hadn't arrived either.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Bear River
But
High.
it was a naked ordeal. Whatever.
All right. Those are great.
It was awful.
Learning a lot of stuff here.
My husband told that story in one of his
I
talks
know.
at church.
Yes.
My mother-in-law swam naked in high school.
Oh, could have killed him.
Sorry, Mom.
All right.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that one.
yeah.
I'm glad you asked that. That's terrific.
Can't believe you didn't know that.
didn't know
I've
that.
Oh.
heard that over and over.
That's just
Yeah,
great.
that was a bad one.
Pitch a few more that direction. Those are good.
Heaven.
Your posterity needs to know this.
Oh,
know,
you
all
think
these
so?
good stories.
What?
Yeah.
No.
One of the things I wanted to talk about was your sewing. So you did play the piano, but Grandma never sewed, and you self-taught yourself
Yep.
to sew. But I remember many nights you down in the
Down
basement,
the basement,
just
my little sewing
sewing
machine.
away and making our clothes. And every Christmas you would make, I know Lori and I, a new nightgown and
a
boys
fancy dress.
and a dress. And
We even made our Halloween costumes, I remember.
you were a wonderful seamstress.
When I was a little girl, I didn't have any store-bought clothes. All of my clothes my mom made.
I have some pictures
Neither
of high
did I.
school stuff where she made me shirts and ties. I mean, fancy shirts like
Yes.
Western with the piping on it and really nice ties and the whole
I got
deal.
those
I
as
look back on those
hand-me-downs.
pictures and I think, man, I was styling. No one else had this stuff.
And then you
I was proud of my sewn
Yeah,
clothes. I
really
thought
great stuff.
you did
probably
a great
went
job.
over
And,
and take this off.
to me, you go to work in the morning and teach, then you come home in the afternoon and do piano lessons, then you'd cook dinner, a homemade dinner every night, and then you go downstairs and sew. I don't remember you ever just sitting and
And iron,
Watching TV.
and iron on that
And
big
iron,
iron
on the
thing
big
with
iron.
that.
Roller
With
thing.
that
sheets.
roller thing, and she would even iron the sheets and the
Sheets.
pillowcases
wow.
and the dish towels.
For
on
all
that.
your beds. Yeah.
Wow, we had a
I didn't know that shirts just don't come hung up until I got on my mission. I went, wait, you just go to the closet and pull one off the hanger. They're all nice and pressed.
Remember her sitting down on that ironer machine for hours.
with the knee
She was
thing.
very good
at
it,
The knee
too.
thing,
She-
yeah. She's still sewing, gives me blankets for newborn infants at the hospitals that I still take, and they are very grateful for those. And Mom, hundreds and hundreds of them.
And
over
she
the
gives
years.
some to Angie to give to McKay.
Does she?
So yeah,
Oh, that's great.
big piles of
That's
them.
just,
So yeah.
that's just great.
So
What would you like your posterity to know about Bert and Myrtle?
they were the greatest parents ever. My dad was just a jewel. My mom had a temper, but she knew how to hold it. She was a Hunsaker, which was, they were different. They were German, and so they were different. My dad was as mellow as can be. Just the best. I could do no wrong with him, let's put it that way. He whatever I wanted, I could have as far as my dad was concerned. Like I said, you put it in, I take it out. That was all.
Now, the circumstances of them getting together was a little bit interesting. Can you briefly tell us about that?
This Crystal Springs in Honeyville was owned by my grandparents, my great-grandparents. Grandma Staples' mother and dad owned Crystal Springs, and then it was sold. But my dad went over there to swim, and he'd go over there, and my mom went there to swim too, and that's where he met her. And then he became very well acquainted with her. Her house was only a half a block from the swimming pool, and he happened to go over there one night, and her dad was having a tizzy fit, and when he did, everybody backed off. He was a jewel when he didn't drink, but when he drank, he was a beast. And he had tied my grandma to the tree and was whipping her. And that's when my dad went bananas. And he said to my mom, "You're not going to live here anymore." And he went over to Hartman and said, "You either stop or I'll call the police right now." And he quit. But that's what he was doing, and that's when my dad took my mom and said, "You're not going back there." And he said, "Go in and get some clothes. You can come and stay at my house. We have extra bedrooms that no one's living in, and Grandma Nellie will see that you're taken care of, but you're not going back there."
And she was quite the babe.
Yes, she was. She was
17.
She was 17, but she had been Peach Queen
Yeah, she
We've
was.
got a picture of that.
in a green bathing suit. Yeah,
So Grandpa knew what he was doing.
yeah, he did. That-
And I think Grandma controlled her temper because I don't ever remember Grandma ever
Yeah.
being mad at me,
no,
ever, in all the times that I stayed up there with her and spent time
No.
with her. She was always a jewel to me.
she's a
To me as
jewel.
well,
Me too.
all the time. She did things that she didn't
Yeah.
need to, like put worms on hooks for me, and go down into the river in the dirt and the mud, and do all kinds of things for me. It was wonderful. She was just a doll to me.
But Grandpa was just
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
You all learned to drive
yes,
up
I'd sit
there.
The
between
stick
them.
shift GMC is one I learned on.
Yeah.
I
Trucks.
I learned probably the most important lessons of life there, with all due respect to all the other experiences that have been given to me, but it was a wonderful experience for me. I tried to be like him in my life.
Drive up the lane and down the lane.
They would take
and
me
up
driving
lane.
on the roads, and I would be the driver of the old truck. Grandpa would be in the middle, and Grandma would be on the window side, yelling at me.
was
Scared
the
to
buffer.
death. Scared to death.
Grandpa tied me to the tractor one time with a rope on the Super C and said, "You can go ahead and drive that thing. Drive it up into the field and come back. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. You won't. If you fall off, you'll be on the
You
road."
won't fall too far.
Grandma didn't like that one too well, but
I think Mom knew that
I
happened.
think Mom didn't like that one either. But they were also good to all of us. They were just wonderful.
And they raised a good daughter.
Yes, they did.
What was it like growing up on the farm out there
It was
as an only child?
it was lonesome. The house next and down the field, they had 2 daughters, but they were both younger than me. But we did play together a little bit, so that was that way. But my dad and mother were always very good to take me to join with some of the kids to play or bring them out to my house. And you know the story of the horses, because that's I had this old horse, and my friend from across the river, she'd come out and we'd meet in Bear River City and tour around the park on our old horses, and she'd go her way and I'd go mine to go home.
Tell us about when the horse went bye-bye.
Yes.
I shouldn't have brought that out. Well, that was after I had my horse, but the neighbor had this very nice horse and he said I could ride it. And so I went up and got the horse and came home and had my ride and a little bit, and then I laid down it was hot in the summer, and so I laid on the lawn and I tied the rein around my ankle. My father came very quietly, didn't say a word, came up, untied the thing, took the rein, tied it to his truck, and took the horse home. That was the end of my horse riding. And he said, if you don't have any more sense than that, you're not going to take that stand. It was a stallion, no less.
Yes, it was.
It was no
it
little
could have been.
pony. And so he said, no more.
Well,
That ended my horseback riding.
Wow. That
darn it.
had
Darn.
a big rodeo career.
Yeah.
This is a serious question. What is been a trial of your life, or how have you overcome some of those hard times in your life, Mom? You've always been pretty optimistic and you just keep going.
It's hard when I lost your dad. That's not fun. And to be here alone, that's been a trial. But you learn to live with it. And you guys have all been so good to me for that. It's lonely at night sometimes, and so that's when I read, that's when I make the baby blankets and whatever, something to do. I'm not a TV hound, and so unless the Jazz was playing ball, forget it. And so, but I've read a lot of books. They're not the hard ones that Steve would read, and maybe Lori and all of you. I read the ones that are fun.
I've watched you deal with difficulties in life over the years. As I've gotten older, I've gotten hopefully a little wiser, and I can see then how you deal with those things. And you seem to have this wonderful ability to roll with the flow, and things come and go, and and they're difficult, and you overcome them. And I think I've heard you say two things to me. One is your faith in Heavenly Father. That's one that carries you through, and the other is this attitude that you've had your whole life, I think, which is this too shall pass.
Exactly.
Right?
I've said
You say those
that
things.
many a time. This too shall
You guys
pass.
heard that
Yeah.
before?
Yes, I always hated it when she told me that when I was going through hard times.
Well, it doesn't feel like it's past.
It didn't feel like it.
But those two things have carried me in times where I've had problems in my life and didn't think I could do it, and I could hear it ringing in my ears. What would my mom say? What would my dad say? And those two things are things that you said that I've remembered, and I'll remember them forever. They're gifts.
She says them to her grandkids too. She says that to them.
Well, consistent.
More generations are benefiting from that because it is great
I think
perspective.
they're treasures to me. Yeah, and it's good to know that she's saying it to others as well.
I do.
Well, I would add that your family is much more than just us four and our posterity. There are so many people that call you grandma,
I know.
and it's amazing. I'm proud of that, and lucky them that they know you.
They're Grandma B.
I would have
Grandma
to say,
B.
I would have to say that her third daughter Debbie
Yeah.
and her family.
Yeah.
She's my
Daughter.
adopted daughter.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
she wouldn't have a mom if it wasn't for my mom.
That has to
No.
make you feel good, doesn't it?
Yes,
Hear that.
and Debbie is my third daughter.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
She has horrible health. And between Lori and me and We just about know what it is.
And her son Tyler loves Grandma like she's his own. So
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. That so many people call you Grandma.
How many grandchildren do you have now, Mom?
I
I
had
don't know.
19.
19 grandchildren.
Have we got company?
How many
How
great-grandchildren
many
are
great-grandchildren? 13
there?
that are
13.
alive. And if I had the 2 that we've lost for you and for Bryce, there'd be 3 more.
Well, your life will bless the generations, Mom.
Well, I'm
As
old,
us, for sure.
an old lady.
Absolutely.
But I'm grateful for my health, and I'm so grateful for each one of you and your family.
Don't you agree? The older you get, the more you realize you're a product of your parents.
Oh, yeah.
And your situation,
I-
for sure.
yeah,
We
for
had
sure.
a great
Yeah,
situation.
we did have a wonderful place here. This is a great holy place to me. You know, it's a wonderful place.
I have to say, I can never think of a time when either of my parents did anything wrong
Oh,
or didn't live the gospel to the
No,
no, I
fullest.
don't
You
think
know
that
what I'm
either.
saying?
No exceptions, nope.
And I can't say
Great
the same
example.
about myself, but I sure can say that I can't think of any time when they weren't a perfect example of how to live a righteous
What a
life.
wonderful thing to say.
thank you.
What a wonderful thing that is to say
Yep.
and to know. I feel the same
That's
way.
true.
That's a great thing
Never
to
thought
say.
of that, but
What a gift that is to us.
Well, you're all good kids.
No.
Yes, you are. Every single one. I love you very, very much, and you're all just perfect in my idea.
Not you all, when I talk to her privately, or she will always say, "I love you," and I love all of my children. She makes sure that it's
she does.
distributed to everybody, and I'm grateful for that too.
Tell us what
She
you
does do
remember about your grandparents.
Yeah, great.
Oh, I had my grandma Staples on one side. That was just a jewel. Remember, she wouldn't wear a bra, and she was heavy set,
Okay.
and she would laugh.
And she laughed and burped.
And she'd laugh
Remember.
and burp.
Yeah.
And,
And the other end, too.
yeah, and she was
She'd say that was a compliment
character.
to the cook.
Yes, of course, she would.
when she
And
burped.
it was so funny because when she lost her driver's license, she was furious. And so I would get this phone call. I need to go to the store. Hang up. That didn't mean tomorrow. That meant
Got right
now.
after it too, didn't you? Yeah.
Was she in Washington Terrace?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had kids that were home, and she knew that if I couldn't come, one of them could. Now. And that's what she meant. And she was a jewel, wasn't she? We all just
She was a good
She
grandma.
was so funny.
So
We
Grandma
remember
Staples is
her.
Grandma Myrtle's mother,
Yes.
remarried to Carl.
Carl. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Who was a
that's how she
gentle
got the-
soul.
Yeah.
Who
he was
was
a
a
good guy.
Jew.
Yeah.
He was a very nice
Yeah.
guy. Very
But
good.
I don't remember Grandpa's mom and dad
Dad.
that much. I remember Nellie,
Nellie.
but tell us a little bit about them.
Good.
Nellie and her 3 sisters came from England because they joined the church and her parents kicked them out. And so they had nothing, and they were really wealthy in England, but the parents gave them nothing. Just, you're a Mormon, you're not ours anymore. So they somehow made book and passage, and they came to Utah. And there was the 3 of them, and none of them married, none of them really knew what to do. So they all took jobs at babysitting. That was their main thing, is that they moved into homes and took care of families with children. And luckily, Nellie came to Eli because my grandma had died. And so he had 4 kids that didn't have a mom. And so she came to be the nanny and to help take care of these kids. And she was a jewel. And they had lived together probably 15, 20 years, and then they got married. The kids were mostly grown by then, and she'd been so good. She was a great mother, and she turned out to be a good wife. She never learned how to drive, and so that was a thing that was funny. My uncle took her up to Tremont one day and said, "I'm going to get you a car, because you're going to be able to learn to drive." And he got her in this car, and she pushed on the pedal and went straight through the red light. And he said, "Never mind, just pull over here, get it stopped." That was the end of her driving career. Nope, she never drove.
Did she speak with a British accent?
A little, but
I
not too
remember
much.
her
I thought
very
she did.
well, yeah.
I
Nellie,
remember her
I
serving
do too.
tea and
Oh,
and biscuits and
Oh.
some
And
some
she had that
English
one
food.
sister that was really tall.
Yeah.
What was her name? Jane?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Jane.
I thought they
And
were
then
kind of
Annie.
regal. They were.
Oh, very.
And they had a
Their
lovely
house
house.
was
and-
beautiful.
Annie.
Yeah.
yeah, it was really nice.
Did you
Annie
spend
was,
time
Kinda
with them
little.
when you were a
We-
little
I
kid?
Yeah.
vaguely remember going to her home.
and Annie went to California and became a movie star's nanny to his kids. I can't remember their names now.
Douglas Fairbanks.
Douglas Fairbanks.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that she was out there for a long, long time, and then she finally came in to Utah, and Grandpa took care of them, all three of them, till.
So
they were-
Grandma Staples lived where when you were growing up? Was she close by you where you spent time with her
She, yeah,
when you were a little girl?
yeah, she lived out to Promontory some
Oh,
of the time,
Promontory.
and she couldn't drive, and she decided one day she was going to drive or else, and she just got in the car and came to a river. It was just a canal-like thing. Gave it the gun, and away she went.
Jumped it.
She jumped it, and that was her driving experience. And my dad's.
You have a lead foot too, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I think she does too.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah,
but
I
Mom
do.
does, for sure.
But now I can't do it because I don't get on the freeway. And I can't go too
She's still
fast
driving around town.
So tell us
People tell
about
me.
Grandpa Eli a little bit.
Yeah.
Grandpa Eli was a jewel. He was the most even-tempered guy, one of the most I've ever seen.
Like father, like son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a jewel that way, and I never heard him say bad things or cuss anybody ever. And he was just a mellow guy, but he taught me, and I shouldn't tell this story. This isn't good. No, I won't tell.
Tell her about it now.
Should never have started. He was going to teach me how to clean a chicken.
Okay, here we go.
You've heard it.
No, I don't
Haven't
think
you?
I've heard this. No.
Well, we plucked all the feathers off. That was fine. You put it in the hot water, and then you get the feathers off, and then you've got to get the innards out. Well, he didn't do the steps that needed to be done. He didn't cut the hole. He just said, go on through there and get it out. You know what it was.
I'm surprised you eat chicken.
And he laughed, and he laughed.
He set you up for that. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
he set me up for that one. So
How many chickens did you clean after that?
I knew how to do it right until that.
I remember you teaching
did
me
he
how to
farm?
how to
Did he have a
chicken.
chicken coop? What? I don't know what his
No, he farmed.
He had a
setting
farm.
was. Okay.
And then my dad took it over.
Wasn't Eli's house the one?
It was the one through the-
house by
yeah.
the farm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Grandma
a
big
Eli's.
stone
Had a
Nellie's.
corral and a chicken coop. And,
It's still there.
And then his farm was a beautiful farm.
yeah.
It was just a beautiful
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Grandpa
farm.
farmed it for a long
That-
time.
The
huh?
house that they built there was an elegant house,
Yes.
beautiful home.
Remember, it had a porch,
Yeah,
a
it was
covered
a lovely
porch on the
home,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Red
You
brick
could
home.
go down the stairs in
Yeah.
the basement where
Yeah.
the eggs were taken, and and it had the big back porch. It had a porch on the front, too.
When you lived in the White House as
Oh,
mom
yeah.
and dad's house, did you go to Eli's house very often?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to go over there, and they like to have us come. And so we were company, and they were our company, and Nellie would cook for us and make some of her dishes that we hadn't eaten, kind of. We learned to eat them and like them. Johnny
By the
cakes.
time I remember Nellie, she didn't live there anymore. She lived with her
In town.
sisters
In
in
town.
town. Yeah.
in town.
Uh-huh.
So when Grandpa died, she didn't drive. Why, there was no point in her staying out to the farm. So she moved in with the three of the sisters lived there on Main Street, and that's where they were until they passed away.
What countries have you visited? I know that when we went to Pat McIntyre's funeral, you were in all their pictures. You've traveled everywhere.
I've been around, let's put it that way. I've been to England, I've been to France, I've been to Germany, I've been to South America, I've been to Canada,
Mexico.
Mexico.
Tell us about when you went to South America.
Yeah.
My uncle was a big shot down there.
Uncle Lee, yeah.
Uncle Lee was the
Ambassador,
ambassador down in
Brazil.
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 And so he invited me when I was a senior to come down there. And so my dad said, yeah, I guess so. He's down there. He'll take good care of you. So I went down there. They had a little daughter that was 3 or 4 years younger than me, but that was Shelley. And so I did have a child that but most of the time it was go with Jane and Lee to different places. And we would ride a train that would stop at every little nook and cranny. And one time we had to stop because there was an alligator or a snake, a great big boa snake over the track, and it would have derailed the train.
Oh my gosh.
And so we had to wait for that big thing to crawl across. But it was fun down there, and I stayed there for the summer, and they took me different places, and I saw a lot of South America, and they were really kind to me and showed me different places, and we didn't stay in one very long. It was every weekend we had fun some ways to go.
Now, I believe in my mind it was the Pan American Airlines
Yeah,
experience
we need to
where
hear about the airplane.
you know, the stewardess with the hat and you were on a turboprop plane,
Yeah,
probably
I was
50,
by myself.
60 passenger
Yeah, and
propellers.
the pilot came back, and the co-pilot came back and said, would you like to come up front and see where we're going? And so I went up and sat in the co-pilot seat for maybe half an hour or so, watched as we went over the ocean and headed for South America.
I thought you were on a plane with a bunch of military people.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're just on your
Yeah.
regular plane.
Just a commercial flight. Yeah.
How old were you, Mom, when that?
18.
18. Were you graduated high school by then? So a senior kind of thing? And
You weren't spoiled, were you?
Not at all.
I'm surprised Grandpa let you go.
No. Quite
And
the
you
age.
maintained a great relationship with Uncle Lee until he passed, and then Aunt Jane, right?
Yeah, we did.
And she still has, she
Yeah.
And Shelley.
I
talks to
still do
Shelley.
Shelley. She lives up in Washington. And I send her a Christmas card, and she sends me one. And we've talked on the phone a couple times. I've called her and talked with her. She's the only cousin. And Linda, I have there's 3 of us left out of that whole family. And it's the same with the Batemans. I'm the only one. That's what you get for being old. But I've had a good life.
I always thought you were respectful and kind and good to Dad's brothers and sister. I
They
thought
loved
you were
her.
always respectful to
You're
them.
Love her,
you're a
yeah.
sister,
And they
not
loved you for that.
not an in-law for sure.
It was
They've all said that.
Lou's wife just thought the world of me, Ethel. And
And so did May and Dawn and
May and Dawn,
Lavar
we all
and
got-
Dee and
yeah.
all of Dad's
we all got along
relatives.
Yeah.
well. We did. We traveled once in a while together. Yeah, all 4 of us. And that was when your dad was alive. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
We went to New York.
we went to several places.
Yeah, May was the character in the group. And she was the funny one.
Well, you know, you have those rules for each birthday, and I'm just curious as to what rules would you have for your posterity if you could give them some rules?
Well, number 1, stay active in the church. 2, don't hold a grudge. Forgive and forget. Number 3, help others. Any way you can, you see somebody that needs help, you do it. You don't wait and say, well, maybe somebody else will do that. No, you do it. 4th, love your partners and your families. All of them. Just doesn't matter. Some of us are different. We've been raised different. So they're gonna be different. Love them all. That's all you gotta do. Live and live.
Good job, Mom.
Because you're not living with them. You'd come, you'd go. But while you're with them, be nice.
You're 91 years old, and I still see you doing all that stuff. I know that you spend time every week trying to help other people, and you do it like Dad did, quietly, without any sort of announcement, no expectation of anybody saying thanks or a reward or otherwise. You just go about doing it. That's a wonderful example to
That's-
all of us.
It makes it easier too. You don't have to say, "Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome." Just know that you did it. Don't need to be praised for it. Just ask Marilyn how many cookies she finds on her step.
I find them in my flower pots.
Really?
I forgot about that.
Flower pot.
So as you go to my back door, there's a flower
Cookies
pot,
in the
and if I'm
flower
not
pot.
there, they're always in the flower pot
So
when I
that
get
means you
home.
gotta keep looking.
No, as I drive in the driveway, they're
Then
right
she can see
there.
'em.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a great thing that is, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I eat them.
You've always been so generous. I remember the gal down the street, Sister Barker, and you took her a meal every day for years. I remember the little plates with the aluminum foil, and we'd run it down, or you'd walk it down to her, but you literally fed her something every day for years.
Yeah.
That was a great example to me.
And as
Very
a
much.
child, we delivered more pies than I can even imagine. I mean, we went everywhere to every widow in the ward, every widower, and we would deliver pies.
Do you remember the
Constantly.
Christmases where we would load up the station wagon with food and clothes, and we'd
Go help
either
the family.
randomly find people, or we'd go to a house that had been designated, and we'd just leave it and
And go.
hide in the bushes and not say anything or do anything.
Great lessons.
That's a great thing. You
Good
passed that
lesson.
along. You did.
We love you, Mom.
I do.
I love all of you too. Just
We are grateful for
good
you.
kids, each and every one of you. Love you much.
I want to hear about your embarrassing moments. We've got to embarrass you a little
Yeah, there
bit.
you
You
go.
can't be all perfect.
Oh, I'm not all perfect. Let's see.
So her dad was a cattleman, but we experimented with dehydrated beef. Remember that? It was made out of soy.
Oh, yeah.
It was a beef substitute, and you had the big containers, and you'd try and pass that off.
Oh, that
Remember
was
those
the
years?
grossest crap ever.
Macaroni and tomato soup,
Oh, no.
and the
You wanted to use it up. You got it for fridge storage or something. And you
Then I
said,
sh-
"Mom, no more, no more."
Obviously, that scarred him.
I know it's something Spark remembers.
And Dad would go out and shoot deers and rabbits and pheasants, and
yeah.
she would try to convince us that it was chicken or beef or.
No, I
and
told.
we-
Then I finally said, "Don't bring this home. We don't like it."
I have to say this too. You are known as the cookie maker. But when we grew up, I don't ever remember one that wasn't a hockey puck. We blamed it on your oven. Remember?
It could be said the same of your dinner rolls when we were growing.
Oh, maybe it was just somebody else got all the good ones and I got.
I don't remember
I just
that.
love that. You don't?
Not that, I do remember her rolls, and they were
hard,
So
a
then
little
you
hard, but
decided
you
to
learned.
make scones, and then we loved your
Delicious.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember.
No,
then
we
she
ate like
always made
kings here.
stone.
We did.
It was all good.
Like Dad would say, bottled peas. Not a fan.
No.
Bottled bean
I
cherries.
remember, Mom.
Well, Mom, you
Yeah,
bottled it.
Mom bottled everything.
Oh, I remember.
But that, I mean, how industrious and
All the time.
And we would go up to Bear River and get a half of a
yeah,
beef, remember? And
Bring it
so we
home.
ate high on the hog
sure
when we
did.
were kids.
Full freezer all the
Yeah, we
time. Yep.
bring
Always
that
had
home
good
and carry
meat.
it down in laundry baskets.
Yeah.
you know, in the freezer.
Yeah.
I remember some Christmases here where we were showered with gifts that we
yeah.
didn't
Christmas-
really deserve, and Grandpa
Christmas,
would.
my friends would call at like 9:30. What'd you get? What'd you get? And it's like,
I remember
we
the
just
time.
barely started. Remember? We'd wait for Grandma and Grandpa to come, and
Remember the
we'd
time.
have our own little spot.
Grandpa would wait kind of till the end, and Dad and all that, and they'd come in, and I remember them, you know, one year it was snow blowers. I think we were
One year it was microwaves.
microwaves, all kinds of
Microwaves.
cool stuff. And
I remember the year you got your organ. That was on Christmas.
I remember,
One year she forgot to part of our gifts, and it was on a Sunday Christmas. And I still believed in Santa at that point. And we had our gifts, and then we went to church, and then we came home, and miraculously there was more stuff there.
Showed up.
And that was the year that my bubble was burst.
Oh, Santa came for round 2. I remember you coaching Dad on how to flock Christmas trees. That was always a good thing to watch.
But they were beautiful.
They were beautiful.
They were always beautiful.
And Dad worked his way through that, and you kind of took a hands-off deal on it, and it all worked out just fine. But I remember it was quite a thing for a while.
There was something that us boys, Dad included, and Steve and I, knew when to clear the house, and that was when it was perm time.
Oh,
Didn't smell very good.
the
Tell us
skin.
about some of those.
We used to
Mom
get
gave
them.
us perms.
Oh, believe me, I
There
have
on that couch,
pictures.
and it was weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth.
Well,
Yeah.
she knew how to do it. She'd roll our hair up and get
Put the
us a
stinky
perm.
stuff on.
You're pretty much a jack of all trades. I mean, you took care of every
Hairdresser.
detail. Clothes, hair,
Food.
the house, food.
All of our kids still think about your homemade ice cream and
The real homemade
you
ice
know
cream.
all the different things that you cook that are kind of lost to
Your
our
chocolate
generation.
fruities,
Root beer.
Yeah,
turtle.
big
Root-
5-gallon
root beer.
root with
root
dry
beer.
ice and all that. Nobody does that anymore.
You can't find the
No.
dry ice.
Yeah.
Excellent cook. I can't cook, but you sure could.
Yes, you can.
I can't. But my kids think about your cookies and all of the things that like homemade candy that we don't make anymore. Lots
Peanut
of
butter
things.
clusters. Or no,
Peanut.
yeah, peanut
Butter.
clusters are delicious. Tell us about some of your best friends.
Yeah.
A lot of them are gone.
Some that you shared with Dad, some of those people.
Oh, well, we went with the blouse a lot to different things, and sometimes Lucille and Malin. And so there was the 6 of us that could get in one car, and we'd go in to Weber College to the dances.
I remember that.
Uh-huh. At the
Something I
ballroom.
totally failed at.
Tried to teach you to dance.
Yeah. My dancing is not good. So.
But yeah,
We knew that you went those because it was trauma at home.
I know.
That's true.
Or when you would go to Salt Lake to the
Steve
temple.
was
The
the
only
main
reason we're
recruiter.
alive is because you guys went to the temple.
And I remember that you went to the dances pretty late at night. They'd
Every
leave
day,
at
yeah.
like 8 or 9 at night to
9
go to the
o'clock
dance.
till midnight.
Dances.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they were.
And then you had your motorhome era with the
Yeah,
McIntyres,
yeah.
right?
We had the motorhome. We went bumming with that a lot. Went different places, and it was fun. We had our house with us when we went somewhere.
Tell us why Dad got that motorhome.
Because I said, I'm not living in a tent.
Yeah, that's true. But I know that he got it because he wanted to keep his family together.
Yeah, yeah.
He told me that one time, and
Yeah,
I thought that was impressive because you both felt the same way.
yeah.
And you
that
made a
was-
lot of memories at
Yeah.
the sand
Yeah.
The
dunes.
sand dunes in those big old, and it's still up in the garage, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I remember when I came home from my mission, and it was a surprise. I got out of
Oh, we all
on
came to
the airport.
get you.
and in those days, the airport's a pretty simple place. You just walk out, and I'm going along, and they're in shock anyway from coming home and schlepping our bags out there. And I'm looking for the station wagon or something, and next thing, I don't know, you probably opened the door and got in that.
I think we
In
were
that-
over the weight limit in it.
Yeah,
There
I'm
were
sure
like
we
20 of
were.
us in it.
What are you doing getting in that? What are you doing?
Everybody we
got
could
out.
Broke the
get.
axle.
It was terrific.
Yeah.
Everybody was in there, and we got to ride home. It was just wonderful for me.
Yeah,
It was great.
it
But
was.
the thing that sticks out in my mind is that you and Dad did that because you wanted to keep your family together.
And we did go on a
And
lot
we
of
did it a lot.
trips.
That-
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
We went
Yeah.
out to the Lehman Caves
Yeah.
once. I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh boy, that's a
Oh,
good
that-
story. Yeah,
Where else did
abandoned
we?
ship.
Yeah, where else did we go? We went quite
Oh,
a
we
few
went.
Went
places.
to Yellowstone.
All over
Yellowstone.
southern Utah and Yellowstone and all around. It was wonderful. Yeah.
We went to the parade in California.
In
That was your
California,
very
to the
first trip.
Rose
Yeah.
I remember taking a turn driving
Yeah.
on the San Bernardino Freeway in a motorhome. I was like
Sorry.
17.
Wow. Yeah.
Went to
Later
Rose
on, it got
Parade.
to the point where it was not a reliable machine, and Dad would drive it, and it would stop. Here and there, just stop. He would get a little frustrated with that. I remember, but he kept it going and
He
loved
did.
it.
He loved to be up in his
He
garage
loved to
working
mess
on
with it. Yeah, something I don't know how to do. But
You're a great picture taker. Mark
You have
doesn't
to
have a
bring that
picture
up.
of himself with his full head on it, do you? I don't think so.
Not many of us.
None of you. So I kind of gave it
Steve's
up.
graduation picture. We just
and an
have
anonymous
his cap and
person,
gown.
somebody with a diploma, but we don't know.
She
We
just
don't,
missed the
we
head.
don't know who it is.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's
can guess.
We knew
memorable
who
to
it
me.
was.
No, don't take very good pictures. It's this bifocal thing you got here.
all right.
I can blame it on that.
This isn't about me, but I will tell you, on my mission was first when you're really talking about testimony and things, and often people will say, I came to this crossroad and I had to decide. I credit you and Dad. I never had a crossroad moment. I just knew. I knew you do this, and then when you're 8, you do this, and when you're 12, you do this, and when you're 18 and 19, you. And I appreciate it, and
That's how
I give you
felt.
that credit, and it
You and
has
Dad
saved.
taught us.
It has saved me so much.
I never
haven't
had to
these
make that
crises
decision.
and these.
Right down the middle
And
of
we
the
just
road.
knew.
We all knew that.
We knew from
And I don't
your
remember
example.
you like drumming it. It was just the way we lived.
Agree with
should
you
apologize.
Exactly for me too.
That's how it was for me.
We should apologize about how we were about family home evenings.
Yeah.
We did make it
Because-
hard.
Not good. I didn't do that very well.
We were not good at it.
No.
I remember you guys trying, but we
tried.
weren't very cooperative.
No.
We gave it up.
You tried.
Remember?
Yeah,
That's a good
it
one.
was
That's a
always
good one.
bad.
I do remember those.
We even tried to bribe with the treats and everything else.
Every once in a while we'd go out and do something. I think we were in on those, but when it was let's go in there and sing and then come in here.
You tried.
Thanks for that.
we-
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah.
I think Mark has a good point. You can undervalue the what a difference it makes to children to grow up in the gospel, and if they don't, it's a lot harder start. And we were so lucky because we just knew from when we were born
Yeah.
that that's what it was,
The way it goes.
we didn't have to question it because our parents were so faithful.
And
100%.
that's absolutely well said. Yeah. I just knew the path.
I did too.
I knew the path. I knew it was expected of me, but I also knew that it was the right thing. So it was just sort of easy.
Do you remember the night you didn't want to go to fast or sacrament meeting was at night? Mm-hmm. There.
We got one sacrament meeting off per year, and that was because the Wizard of Oz came on
Yeah.
once a year.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes,
But-
we got one off.
yeah. But he stayed home because he didn't
Me?
want to go.
I did?
You.
Oh, boy.
And how luckily it thundered and lightning, and it was just
Was he scared?
terrible.
He was terrified.
Scared to death.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do.
Mom probably said a prayer to Heavenly Father that it would
Send
he'd
down
be
the
safe.
lightning.
So I stayed home alone
You
here.
you were ornery and you didn't want to go. You said,
okay.
I'm not going.
Wow. How old was I?
About 9.
Okay. Well, I had my moment then, I
And
guess.
I said, well,
Good.
that's okay. And it thundered and it lightened.
I guess it stuck with me.
And
She
you were
probably
ready-
prayed it
You were
on
ready
you.
for us to get home.
Again, I it's not about me. You can edit this out. But when I was 15, really wanted to go see a rock concert, and Boston was coming to the Salt Palace, and Boston, it was the greatest. And I remember cajoling you, Mom, we need to go, and based upon some of the precedent of previous concerts, like with Led Zeppelin and stuff, where joints were passed down the row and all that kind of, you were like, no, you're not old enough, you're not old enough. And I remember working you over, and finally you consented. And I think you drove us, and it was me and Bruce and probably Jeff and somebody else. And so we go into the Salt Palace, and there are these speakers as big as Winnebagos. And I'm just like, this is going to be so, so cool. And the warm-up guy came out, and it was at the Red Rocker. Well, the Red Rocker is Sammy Hagar. And he walks up to the microphone before any noise is made. They had little preamble music, but he hadn't made any. He walks up to the microphone, and he drops the F-bomb. And I remember going, my mom was right. My mom was right. I'm going to be corrupted. I'm going to. And then he hit the guitar, and it was the loudest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Why you're deaf.
Oh, my mom. She
was right.
She knew it. I'm going to go to the bishop's office tomorrow. But it worked out. But I tell that story all the time. But my mom was right.
That's funny, Mark. I didn't know that.
know that
I
either.
didn't know that
Always
either.
love to listen to loud music, though.
I just remember that she always let us make our own decisions, whether they were right or wrong. She would counsel us, and then if we were going to go to the pool or on Sunday or do something that we shouldn't do, she would say, well, it's your choice.
And usually
She
you
would
didn't
let
do
us
it.
go, and usually we didn't, but sometimes I did. Yeah.
You did a good job, Mom.
parent.
Oh,
Good
Yeah,
mom.
you did a good job.
well, you were good kids. I remember the time that Lori and Steve were running away from home
Oh, yes,
because
with our paper
Jody had
sacks.
turned. I had Jody.
Messed up things too.
You were walking.
We got to Safeway before our sacks ripped.
Yeah.
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 And Arlene Terry is having a nervous breakdown.
And you let us go. You were like, okay, go
Go
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
You're headed to Bear River? Or
Arlene-
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
we
that?
were
Just
going
right
to
here.
Grandma's.
Okay.
They were going to Grandma Staples.
Oh, Grandma Staples. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like their underwear and clothes?
Yeah,
like
oh, yeah,
strewn
it
on the
was
ground?
Our sacks ripped. We
Your
had
sacks
we had
ripped.
paper
They
bags.
had paper bags, and it was winter.
Well,
January when you were born, and so they got
Oh,
wet.
they didn't want me. Wow.
Got wet.
I guess.
And
What
was
were we
their
upset
clothes.
about?
You, because I would.
We were jealous because
came
they
in.
just
Oh,
had
Sure.
Jody.
Jealous of
Yeah.
a new sibling.
We were
got-
out of here.
That's great.
You two were leaving.
Okay, well, all right.
Arlene
But
Terry.
what did Steve say? That's the best part of
Oh,
the
that's
story.
the best of it. He looked at you and he said, "Should we give her another chance?"
Great. And we did.
And
He
he did.
came back home.
We caused you lots of trouble. I remember taking Jody up to Dr. White's office, and you were already. Were you up there with somebody else?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Beans in
Yeah,
the
had a bean
in his
bean
ear.
in his ear, and I had to take Jody up with a broken arm at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Dr. White.
made a lot of trips to Dr. White.
It was good. It was close.
Yeah, we did.
We could walk right
I had
over
a broken
there.
arm.
Yep.
He had a broken arm that time, and Steve had a bean in his
Being
ear.
in his ear.
But once again, you
Yeah.
this too shall pass, and you let it roll
Yeah.
through, right? We all
Always were
survived.
calm.
Well, Jody and I were primary age when someone called you about a parade.
No, I don't have any kids that could ride on that float.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody to put on the float. She called to ask if she knew of any kids
You
that
were
would
scarred
want to
by
ride
that
on the
too,
Roy
weren't
City
you?
Parade float.
There I had both of those that could.
She said no, she wouldn't let us ride. You
I can't
took
think of
my
anybody.
moment of fame away when
You
I could have been on
you
the
could have
Roy
been doing
City
this,
Parade.
Jody. I don't know how it's done, but
You just didn't want us on it? What was the deal?
I don't know.
I never heard that
Didn't
story.
think.
Tell us about the time the prophet called.
And I thought it was a hoax.
What
And I,
happened? Did you answer the phone?
Yeah, I answered the phone.
did? Okay.
Yes, or did you? No, I did.
I know that in that episode, I was the remote control and the phone retriever. Remember those? Bart, get up and change the channel. But anyway, go on. So
Yeah, I picked it up and he said hello. Is Brother Bateman there? And I thought, this is a big fat hoax. And luckily I didn't see any.
Didn't he say
Sir,
Is
the prophet wants
the
to talk to him?
prophet wants
Or
to talk
President
to you.
Kimball wants to talk to him, or something like
going,
that.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, this is a bunch yes. And I didn't say anything, thank goodness. And I said, yes, he is here. He wanted to talk to Tom. Remember, we had that missionary.
He wanted to talk to
Dad. To
Dad.
Dad.
He wanted to talk to
Because
Dad.
of
To
Tom.
Dad, because of Tom. Yeah, he wanted to talk to Dad, and I said, yes, just a minute.
And I remember Dad just going into a new octave. Well, hello. Well, thank you very much.
Well, he had called to compliment
He
Dad.
just called him.
Yeah, to thank him. Well, that was neat.
I remember that.
It was a good thing.
It's just lucky I didn't say something awful.
Like, oh, brother.
Yeah.
Well, they probably do that.
Who are you kidding?
Sure, you're the prophet.
Yes, he was.
You hosted Sterling Sill, I believe.
No,
for a dinner.
we hosted McKay. David O. McKay was in our house. We had him once.
Because he was here for a conference and Dad was the bishop.
Dad was the bishop.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I don't
Did
know
you
that he
send
was
it-
on the
Did you
council.
send
No.
it somewhere?
He would have been in the bishopric. Or
Yeah,
the
might
bishop.
have been in the, yeah, I don't- when was that?
High
Dad was
Council.
a bishop when
Oh, yeah.
he was on
the
High
High
Council.
Council.
High Council.
And they were looking for dinner hosts while they traveled for conferences, right?
That's why he was here.
That's cool.
Were you
He did
there when
pretty good,
he
yeah.
stayed with us for a while?
Kelly, Tom Kelly. I don't
Remember he was
Yes,
down there
oh, yes,
making those
oh,
Valentines out of.
Oh, yes, for
He
sure.
lived here for a little while.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think I was
for
gone.
sure.
I
Yeah,
think
you
I
were
was
I
gone.
think you were too.
I was gone.
We were all sitting
Yeah.
around the table when the prophet called. That's how
I
we
was
knew. We
gone.
must have been eating
I
or
don't remember that
just
at all.
finishing dinner because we were all there sitting at the
See.
table.
And he wanted to compliment Dad on being a good guy or something. Well, that's great. I never heard
He
that
was
before.
taking care of that. We had taken that
Tom.
guy in, and then he wanted to make
Kelly.
sure that Dad made sure that he got home to Washington or wherever it was
okay.
that he
Well, that's great.
was going home, and Dad was helping him
cool.
figure
I
it
didn't
out.
know that.
Yeah.
That's great. And David O. McKay came to this house here.
And Mom's
this one?
like, "It's the
Mom fed him.
prophet.
It's just the prophet.
It's the prophet," and she was like,
Where was I? I don't think I remember.
"Oh, I was
Right.
there. I was there. Yeah,
I'm sure you must have been there.
That's a great story. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And we didn't join in the meal. I remember we were.
Yeah, I think you scooted us out. They ate,
Which is
they were all
fine.
around the table.
No, I remember being
remember
sitting
that.
at the table. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Because
Maybe
the
it's just
table
you
is
and I,
a
we were too
traumatic
little.
memory for me. The table's traumatic because I got that seat. Mom and Dad got both sides of me. I was isolated.
Oh, you were?
And all
I
the
remember
three of
that.
you got to sit over here because I was the mean one and I had to have
Oh,
Mom on this
just
side.
standard dinner.
Yeah, standard dinner.
Yeah.
I had Mom on this side, Dad on this side for the wax.
You were at the end over there?
Yes, and you were on this end, and then Jody was over here, and Mark was over here, and I got the.
That was
I
random.
got.
I was
got-
always right here by the phone.
Yep, you right there, Jody there, me,
I know we had
Mom
our-
and Dad on
our
either
designated
side.
Everybody had
places.
Think of it
Yeah.
this way, you were special.
No.
And then Steve
got
always
the
got
back
the end
end.
so he could lean
Yeah,
his
you
chair
got
back
the
and watch
easy.
TV.
You got the good
He'd
spot
watch the
where.
games.
For
that
me.
irritated Dad if I leaned back on the chair.
Well,
I
Yeah, you
because
would lean on
that
the
used
chair.
to be the patio
forgot
window.
about that. Yeah,
Remember?
I forgot about that. Yeah, I remember leaning back on that chair looking.
Watching TV. Oh, I do remember that little order.
Yes.
It's funny how things, we all remember things
Isn't it interesting what
differently,
we
don't
do
we?
remember and it's
I remember
different.
stuff that you don't
Wait
remember,
a minute,
but you're
Steve was
I'm
here.
hearing a lot of new stuff I never heard of.
Were you here?
I was right
Oh,
there.
You
Then
were
you
over
were.
there,
Okay.
and you
Then
were
you were
over
here,
there,
and
and
then-
Steve was
yeah.
the end,
Okay.
and I was straddled between Mom and Dad.
Maybe it was because you were close
were
to the
helping him.
bathroom
Maybe
because
you
you
were
always had to
helping
get up.
Yeah, that's true,
Maybe you were
but
put next
as
to
I
Mark 'cause
recall,
he
there
was
was
the
a good
baby.
reason for it.
I remember some birthday parties at that table before this room was built where I just remember a little kid and Brad Beeler and Larry Terry and Ronnie Terry, and Mom would have this big, great little party for us all, traditional stuff, and it was good times.
She
I'll never
threw a
forget
sweet
that.
16
Yeah.
party for me, and she made a cake. It was purple because that was my favorite color, but it was a cake that was like a doll, and it was tall for my 16th
remember that?
birthday.
And you gave me a sweet 16 party.
I had a sweet
remember that with
16
my
party
friends.
too.
It was very fun.
Do you remember the barrel?
Yes, I love the
yes.
barrel.
I
And the
I
tractor.
talked to your grandkids about the barrel the other day.
Love that barrel.
At the Easter
We hit that
I'm
fence
surprised I
hard.
wasn't neurotraumatized.
I don't know how
You
we
know,
did.
we
How
hit
did
that
we
hill
not cut
now
our
and you go,
fingers off?
but back then that
It's
was
built
like
like a
the
big hill.
Widowmaker.
And he slammed into the fence.
Yeah, you hit that fence hard.
And there,
I remember getting my fingers
those
smashed.
barrels were, they
They
were
had
Grandpa's
chemicals.
barrels, and they had 2,4-D in them, like the most poisonous toxin in the world.
That's why we're all
And they
gonna
had been,
die
they
of
had been
cancer.
opened by hand.
Yes,
So
they
there were
had the
these
jab.
sharp jabs
Yes,
all
oh,
around.
absolutely, yeah.
You get arrested for that now.
And
Mom.
we had the
yeah, Mom.
roller coaster too.
I remember
the roller
just
coaster.
traces of the roller coaster.
We had the roller
coaster's really
coaster.
cool. Yeah.
And we'd go down the
Grandpa
hill.
bought that thing.
We'd
That
go
was
down the
great.
hill.
And then the tractor, the little tractor.
I just want to say thanks to Mom for being such an amazing person and such a good example to all of us. And every day that we still have you, it's a blessing, and we're grateful for your health and
I'm too.
your love and example. You're just hard to live up to, all
No,
that you've done and accomplished in your life.
I just love you all.
I love you.
You're all so special to me, and always have been.
When I talk to people in our past and people in our ward that come up to me and ask me about you, they always say the same thing. Your mom is just amazing. Just Sunday, Dennis Mansfield said, "How's Grandma B?" That is just an amazing lady. They all call her Grandma B. Even people that, I wouldn't expect to.
Adults, yeah.
That have known you forever, that just Cammie Blau.
Yeah.
I mean, she will text me, "How's your mom? I just love her. How's Grandma B?" They just all can't believe your energy and how you just are like the Energizer bunny and you just keep going. You're still going at 91.
Pushing 92.
The word I get a lot is just how classy you are. You're always put together, and
I get
you're
that
always
too.
beautiful, and
I saw Janet
amazing.
Weedman about 6 months ago, and she
was
said
my
to me,
friend.
"Your mother is the most pretty, beautiful woman there is. How has she been able to be that way for so
I hear
long?"
that too all the time. Yeah.
I'm lucky to have not too many wrinkles.
well, how come we're not getting those genes?
Yeah.
It must feel good to you, Mom. I know you're humble, but it's got to feel good that so many people think so well of you.
Well,
That's got to feel good.
You don't do it for that reason, right?
no.
Still so active in her ward. I mean, most people at 91, pretty much just go to church, but not my mom. She's out there serving and taking callings. She spoke in church last Sunday in sacrament meeting.
Yes.
That's a pretty
And
amazing.
if anybody could say no, I don't want to do that. I'm 91, but
Yeah.
you always say yes, and you did a wonderful job.
Well, it's over. That's the main thing.
I have, thanks to you, memories. You want to tell about Sister Jacobson?
Oh, tell that story,
tell her.
Mark. You go ahead.
So
Tell
I
it.
was 16 or
Seems
so.
you could
and
drive, and that was about it.
Just learning to drive, and you know me, I had answers for everything. One Sunday morning, Mom calls me up, or gets me up and says, "There's a lady in our ward needs help getting to church," and so we went to Chateau Apartments, and she had a basement apartment, and she had one of her legs partially amputated. She couldn't walk. So she said, "Can you help her?" And I probably was grumbling and everything, and we went down into her apartment, and I'm like, "What do I do here? There's this little lady," and well, I picked her up. And I carried her up the steps, and I put her in Mom's car, and then I went back down and got her wheelchair and put it in Mom's car, and I did that every Sunday till I left on my mission, and it changed me. And I don't know how you found that, and I don't think you did it to teach me
No,
per se. I
no,
think it was
no.
for her.
It was her.
But man, I was collateral damage on that. That was amazing. And she moved into a care facility. I remember up in Ogden, and we visited her after I got home from my mission, and and she later passed. But I mean, one time in church, she collapsed, and they called the paramedics, and I was right there. And I mean,
That's amazing.
A life lesson.
I just
What a great thing.
Changed you.
I get so much gratification trying to be that. I hope you don't even know my name, you know, and I got that from you and Dad.
I would say that everything I
Everything
learned
was
about
service.
service, I learned from my mother. Everything.
That's wonderful.
You all.
I remember
Okay.
there was a little lady around the corner here in a white house, and I don't know why, but you planted a garden
Oh,
in her
Melba.
backyard.
Melba, or was that her name?
But I
Right
would,
over here on the corner, we would take her pies
you would tell
all
me,
the
but
time.
you would have me go over and water it.
I remember
That was my job. I went over and I would water her
Mm-hmm.
garden. I mean, I don't know why you did that, but it taught me also to want to help people. And
Yeah, and we would take a pie to Harry Sharp every Sunday. She would make an extra one.
even though he
Take it
broke
up to
my
Harry.
piano bench.
Harry Sharp, remember that?
took a
up
lot
on
of food.
1900.
we took food to everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
You were always feeding people.
You still
always.
serve people,
You
even
still do.
now.
Yeah,
No.
with your cookies and
kind of back to Dad, but you know, Dad and I didn't really ever face to face hate, you know. But I didn't. It took me a while to realize when I became that ski nut, he would get up Saturday mornings and drive me and Bruce up the hill to Powder Mountain. And if he needed a ride home, he'd be up there and he'd give us a ride home. And I
Me too.
didn't
I remember
realize,
that
but
too,
that
yeah.
was his love language. And, you know,
You
I
even
appreciate
take
the
us to the ski
sacrifices you
bus,
guys
too.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that you
remember
did for
that
me.
too,
I mean,
Mom and
that,
Dad taking us.
I learned a lot of things, in other words, by you and Dad, not necessarily lecturing it, just by putting me in situations and I'm like, oh, wow, you know, and so thank you. Thank you.
You were good kids, all of you.
you always gave us opportunities though to learn. You know, you let us be adventurous. You let us the ski bus thing that I loved that. You know, we'd get the little standard examiner and get the bus, and you let us go and you encouraged us to do it. Neither you nor Dad skied, but if we wanted to do something, you were always supportive.
Do you remember
And
we
skiing
went to
was one of my favorite things in the
too.
world as a
Do you
memory.
remember we went to the Roy Pool at 1 o'clock
Oh, yeah.
every
day we went to the
they
Roy
would buy
Pool.
us a season pass to the Roy Pool, and at 1 o'clock we'd be at the pool, and we would be there till 8 o'clock at night when it closed.
I do remember coming home to get Mom's delicious ham sandwiches, where we'd get that thinly sliced budding ham out of the little pouch, and we'd get one.
One slice, some mayonnaise and mustard.
Well, that's and then
I do have
I was married before I realized that you take Kraft macaroni and cheese and you actually put all of the cheese in it and stir it
that
up.
was the
With some
Because
story.
in our
milk,
house,
some milk.
we would just sprinkle it on, and you could make that last 5 or 6 times.
The lesson they were teaching us was the law of scarcity.
That's right. They grew up in the Depression,
Yes,
right?
that's true.
My
They were
kids
born-
Every
even
little
talk
bit
about
mattered.
Grandma's mac and cheese. Well, Grandma just took the cheese and just
And to
sprinkled it on the top.
To this day, I still eat macaroni
just
with
like that.
milk soup, and my kids think it's the most
Oh, I love
disgusting
that. Yeah,
thing
we
in
used
the
to
whole
have that.
world. But elbow macaroni with milk
milk,
and butter,
butter, and
salt and pepper, and my kids go, "What?"
No, I did like that. That was a good one.
Well, bread and milk at Grandma.
Oh, so.
Oh, yeah, that was my
It's
dad's.
delicious.
That was his
Get enough
supper
of that.
in the summer,
We love
especially.
that. Yep, and a tomato.
Well, it was Grandma's homemade bread that was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That couldn't be beat.
Yeah.
Wow. Couldn't be beat.
Button bread and milk is
She
not.
had a whole drawer that you just opened the drawer and it
yeah.
had flour in it.
Yeah, it was lined.
I know.
Yeah. And sugar.
She did
Sugar-
that. She'd just
sugar
take
went
a
in.
20-pound bag and put it
Dump
in
it
a
in
drawer,
there.
and every Monday morning she would make
bread.
6 loaves of bread.
6 or 8. They had flour and sugar in a drawer. They went through
she
so
just
much
pull
of
it
it,
up.
remember?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
just a staple.
That's a good memory.
For Father's Day, we had apple skewers. Just
You and Dad gave us an ideal environment to
Yeah.
grow up in. Yeah,
appreciate it.
you did.
You did.
This is a story that maybe I shouldn't tell, but I'm going to anyway, and it's mostly about Dad. But I gave a lesson in Relief Society a few weeks ago, and it really reminded me of this story that's really impactful to me. And that was that my friend Debbie, she was kind of on the wild side, and my dad was the bishop. And we laugh about this story, but it has a really good concept to it, and that is she stewed over it for a long time before she finally decided that she would repent. And so my dad being the bishop, it was really
Like her
hard for
dad.
her because
Yeah.
that was like her dad. And so she finally came down to our house, and I don't know why, but they met in our living room instead of at the church. And Debbie sat across from my dad, and she finally told him what she had done wrong. And my dad put his head down, and he looked over the top of his glasses, and he said, "I'm sure the Lord forgives you." And we laugh about it because we think about my dad probably being very embarrassed to hear that story from my dad. But doesn't that just show the love of the Savior? I think the Savior would be the same way. He would be just like my dad.
That's the rest of the story.
Yeah, he would be just like my dad. He was loving, he was forgiving, and it was over.
Yeah.
And she was forgiven. And I think our parents just taught us that that's how the Savior's love is, and they taught us that by the way they treated
I
us.
am grateful the way you said that story. It's different. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
We
There's
had
a
that
lesson to
happen
be seen.
another time too with another girl. And she came here and he said, "Let's just go down to the church and let's talk." And it was the same thing. And she said, "Well, I've not done what I ought to." And he said, "You know, admitting it, that is number one. And second of all, Heavenly Father forgives everyone."
That's enough. Yeah.
I think that's how our parents were. They just forgave us, and we moved on and did the best we could. And we made mistakes, but we
all
were
do.
always loved.
Always.
We all have. Yeah.
I could not have asked for more.
That's awesome.
We had good kids.
I'm grateful for that.
And I am proud of each and every one of you. And your little families and the things that make it fun now for the great
You're
grandkids
getting
to
quite
come
the
to Mount Zion.
posterity
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
How many you got? Probably 40 or more, if you count
I think everybody.
son-in-laws and
Yeah. I think there are about
Grandkids,
39 or 40.
kids. Mhm.
And they all love you. They all
Yeah.
love to come to this house, and
More than they love
they
us.
love to be here.
Actually.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
They might.
Don't you all,
Thanks,
like
Mom.
I do, think sometimes when you have crossroads in life or decisions you need to make or things that you've done and you look back on it, don't you think, what would my mom and dad think of this? And it's a good thing. And it's not one of shame or guilt or anything like that. It's just like I want to do good to make them happy. I want my mom and dad to be happy with me. And I think that's what Heavenly Father wants us to do. That's the highest way of living life, is to please Him, just to please Him, not just to get a blessing, but to please Him. And I always felt that way and still do from you, Mom. And I did that way from Dad too. And I just think about it a lot.
You've all been good
Because
kids.
I don't always measure up.
You do too. All of you do. All of you do.
Special.
Yes, you do. How many temple things have you done? How many
Lots.
lessons have we given? How many blessings have you given? All of these things.
That
are
is
so-
one question that was on there that we didn't ask you, and that was, what, for each of your children, what are the special things that you think about each one of them?
That if I need anything, I could call him if I needed something that I can't do, or one of us. And so I could call him and for advice too, and from you do the temple thing, which I am so proud of. I don't go do that, and I am so proud of you, Lori, as you do that
Okay.
constantly. Jody, she gets the brunt of things when I don't remember stuff. And I
okay,
call
Mom.
Jody, and she has to straighten me out as to what's going
It's
on.
my privilege. I'm grateful.
Because I forget,
I'm glad I get to
and
do
that's
that.
the pit.
Glad I can help you, Mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Mark is there. We talk every week. We talk, and he tells me what's going on in his family, and I appreciate that. 'Cause that's how I keep track of you and your family. The newlyweds, and I hope that there's soon grandchildren for you to
We all have
spoil.
not been as
We haven't
blessed
been
in
very
the grandchildren
prolific, have we?
department.
No, we really
This
haven't.
Well-
generations are different than
They are.
I mean, you got
They
4
are.
kids and 15 grandkids, and
Yeah, yeah.
we're-
I'm glad that we
we're-
all live nearby.
I am too.
That's a good place.
I'm
I'm
glad for
very
that because we
grateful.
all could have
10
scattered.
minutes to 15, you can all be here.
We could have all lived in all different kinds
Oh.
of
I
places.
guess
in the
Kevin's
country.
really
is a
the only
blessing.
one that's really far away,
Far
huh?
away.
Yeah, I broke the mold and moved to Dallas, but I was back in a few years.
Yeah,
Could have gone to Tennessee, but didn't.
We all ended up back here.
yeah.
And all
Yeah.
your
And I'm glad
grandkids
for that.
too.
Steve was in northern Idaho for a bit.
Most- Yeah, everybody's close, 20 minutes
That's a
to
big
the
belt.
farthest.
For my family, we totally realized what a value it is to be around family and
Yeah, I mean, all of that's not by accident either.
Yeah,
We made conscious decisions about that
Yep.
because we wanted to be by you
Yep.
and Dad.
I'm so glad.
It's funny when you go places, it's beautiful, but there's this element that's just not there, and that is it's not home.
Well,
We
we
were
had
very
Lori
lucky.
burn down a house and get
But-
that all put back together.
Still the same house I've always lived in, a block away.
It's all good.
Well, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful home.
You've got to be the oldest member of your ward for
I'm
sure.
sure
And
the
I'm
oldest
su-
lady, there's Mr. Stoddard is older than I am.
But I'm saying in terms of living in that ward
Oh,
the
yeah.
longest. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you've lived there since that ward was created, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
And I am the
Jody and
oldest
I
lady.
have too. I'm sure you are. Yeah.
Tell the story, maybe without the names, of the men that came after you after Dad passed away.
We all know the names.
Well,
They're
just
never gonna see
tell them
this
in the
tape.
tell them in the third person
Well,
then something how that went.
He was a creep.
So,
And he
ding
came-
dong
he
one
came-
day or what?
Yes,
just
he
you're just
came ding dong on the
randomly.
door.
This is
Okay.
a story.
Not long after Dad passed away.
No.
A friend of Dad's.
Yes.
The new dad.
Yes.
And hi
And
Dorene.
he just,
Tell us.
hi,
play.
how are you? Just a minute, I've got something I gotta do. Went on the phone, got in the bedroom, called Jody and said, get up here right now.
She's like,
And
you
I
need to come
did-
here now. And hung up.
and
I was like,
hung up.
oh my gosh, Mom, what's wrong?
She thought I was dying.
I did. I rushed up and he was
Okay,
sitting
so
there.
he put
But he
you in
got
the-
mad when I showed up.
Oh, yeah.
He did. He was he was irritated.
Ruined the old romance. Huh?
Did Dale come to the rescue as well?
Dale did actually call him
And-
once
and
and
told
said,
him to.
you need to leave her alone. She's
There-
not
They're
interested.
not
There've been others.
He
interested.
did ask you if Ralph had left you a lot of
Yeah,
money.
he wanted to know if I had any money.
He
I
did
said,
ask you
"Bring
that.
There's
your
been a
business."
couple of dudes in the
Yeah,
ward too,
There've
right?
been others.
The guy with the walking stick.
Oh, yeah.
And some other ones that
Oh, but,
tried to get
but,
you.
but
'Cause
he
you're a
was
chick, Mom.
he was the worst. Believe
Tyler
me.
drove by one time and Mom was on a ladder in the front by the garage. She was clear up in, I don't know what, if you were trying to take your Christmas lights down or what. And Tyler had to,
Yeah. No kidding. Stop.
this was like
Finally
only
got her
like
to stop
5 or
doing
10 years ago. Mom was up on the ladder
You're
trying
probably
to,
80 something.
trying to do something.
Well,
Yeah.
Mom, you do like your independence, though, don't you? You like
I don't
being
like to
able
bother people.
Yeah.
I've had some experiences, but that one with the one that I called Jody to service, help me.
Yeah. Well, you pretended like the TV wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That was her guys. She was very smart. He wanted to sit and watch a BYU football game or something with you,
something.
didn't he? So then she took the remote and she made it so that it went to the wrong.
Wouldn't work.
It was doing the blank thing.
I'm not too
And then
dumb.
she said, "Oh, I'm going to have to call my daughter. There's something wrong with my television." It was really quite a thought out plan. And then I got here and I was like, "Who's this guy?" And then he said, "Well, looks like your kids are here." So he left.
And he wasn't cute.
He was very
Oh.
miffed.
Oh,
Mom, you weren't interested in remarrying, or?
You weren't interested in that, no matter.
not
When
at
you
all.
think about it,
Not
though.
in anybody, but
No.
a pig, especially not him.
Yeah.
He had a lot of money.
No.
He
You
had
probably
about
had more, or he wouldn't have asked.
He had about 4 or 5 cars sitting in his.
That's probably where his money was.
Yeah.
I think really the most important thing is we all knew and do know that you love us. And I know that you love me, and I know that you love my sisters and my brother.
I do.
And we love you too,
I know it.
unconditionally.
I know.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dad, too.
And Dad, for sure. Yeah. And I hope that you feel Dad's presence from time to time. I hope that that is the case.
Every now and again.
Because
I
he
think,
loved you too, and there will be a joyful reunion someday.
Yeah.
And I think that there's many things about you that will be passed down from generation to generation long after you're gone
Yeah. Well,
to your
we-
the good
posterity.
things.
Yeah. There are, all of us, we try to emulate you and Dad in ways that are unique to each of us. You could tell we all have different experiences and remember things that are only unique to each one of us, but together I think we're all, I know that we all want to make you happy, and we all
And you
want to
do.
emulate the qualities and characteristics that you've taught us and given to us. And to
And
me,
we
that's
want to be an eternal family.
yeah,
Yeah, we do.
that's a joyful thing to me.
Yeah.
Life's not easy, so we're grateful for what you've done for us.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for what you've done for our children, my children, all your grandchildren adore you, love you, look up to you. So
I've made an awful lot of chocolate chip cookies.
you have.
And I love my kids and my grandkids, great grandkids. Got some. They're wonderful.
Can you imagine what kind of a reunion it's going to be in heaven?
It'd be great.
It'd be great.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to
Lieutenant
it.
Pastor, how many kids did you teach in
Oh,
kindergarten
yeah,
that
probably.
go, Mrs. Bateman was
Still.
my
Yeah.
kindergarten
Yeah.
teacher, you know? I mean,
Fred,
forever.
even
right?
recently I've been with Mom and
Somebody-
people have approached her and said that they remember her as their teacher.
Well,
Yeah.
and she didn't, when I asked her about her volunteering, she didn't mention that she volunteered at Jody's school and
Oh, yeah,
taught
she used
kids
to
to
come-
read
she
for
used to come
years
to
and
my
years
school.
and years.
Yeah.
She taught kids how to read.
Wonderful blessing in
Help
my
them
life.
with-
And even Dad came a few times, and that's a precious memory because I can see him sitting with little kids and listening to them read. And he was a great teacher. They both were. But my students were more excited to see her if she didn't come, or and they called her Grandma B, and
Yeah, that's
you
Grandma
know,
B.
and they loved when you came and read
Yeah.
and talked to them. And you've seen them at stores and stuff,
Yeah.
and they recognize
And
you.
they'll tell their
There's
mother or
Grandma
dad.
B. Yeah, it's very sweet.
That's Grandma B.
Yeah, that's a great memory. Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that up, Lori.
Some of my grandkids will only read when you read with them. They
know.
won't read with me, but they'll read with you, Porter.
Yeah.
They'll read.
Porter will.
Anything else you want to add, Mom? Tell
Well,
us how
I
you
know
feel
that the
about
church
that.
is true, and I don't have to be taught it and convinced that it is. I know it is, without a doubt. The church is true. And I know that Heavenly Father loves each and every one of us, whether we're good, whether we're members of the church or not, and that we're His children. And that's all there is to it. We know that He watches over us, that that His Son died for us, to make the holy sacrifice to make it possible for us to return. when we pass away. And so we're grateful, or I'm grateful for the church. Always have been. Always been a good little member. When I was a little girl, I had Mrs. Bott as my teacher, and each week she brought us cutouts from colored paper with the little message on it each and every week. And that was my first experience with Sunday school and primary. And my mother made sure that, and my dad, that I got to Sunday school, and I went to seminary when I got old enough, and I loved seminary, and it was at 6 o'clock in the morning rather than just a regular class time. And so I bustled myself up to the high school, and away I'd go. And I loved seminary, and I loved the gospel. I know it's true.
Did your testimony come to you slowly, or did you wake up one day and say, oh,
No.
how did that come?
It grew as I got older. I mean, my mom always was very good about teaching us. We said the blessing on the food, always. My dad would do that. We didn't have family prayer for a while, but after a while we finally did that too. But we always blessed the food. And so that was my first initiatory to prayer. And I always said my prayers at night. Yep, always. Still do. That's what started my testimony, and it wasn't a balm that hit me on the head. It was something that you feel as you get older and as you grow. And the older you get, the more you know how much truth is in it. Somebody's watching over us all the time. Always.